Okay, as in the last video, I got off to kind of a false start on that. I labeled it that. I'm still loading it up because it includes some of my priceless words, which must never avoid going on air. But there's really nothing to be said there. It's just me kind of grumbling about some counter issues, some rules issues, etc. I'm ready to start. In fact, I've already started. I've set up the turn order according to this scenario. Rome goes first. Yes, this looks a little weird, but hey, view it from this side and it's not quite as bad, right? Upside down. Rome takes their first activation. They drew a card on Pontus. That's going to give them the ability to start a secondary power here and take an activation with that. They don't want to do that quite yet. It adds an activation shit into the cup. They want to see what they're doing. They're looking towards an attack on Greece in the south. The Pontus card is helping solidify that they want to move against the Greeks. So what are they going to do? Good question. But let me think through their turn and I'll come back. Well, I've got a pile of money. What I'm going to do is I am going to take my activation as a movement activation. I'm not going to build up troops. Now you could say that's a mistake, isn't it, dude? Maybe. I've got a lot of money. I need to spend 2 talents. See, I want to build towns here and here, increase my civilization levels. And I've got a couple of garrisons that I hadn't placed quite yet. I've got 4 activations. That's $6. That gives me $4 left that I could spend. That's it. $4 seems low. $4 would be building, 2 legionary units. Alright. I'm going to take my activation to build units. It just seems too dangerous not to. I'm going to build myself 2 legionary units. The reason is I want to be able to have a decent sized force to move against the Greeks with here. And when I calculate out my points, that $4... Oh wait, I don't have that much. Hold on, I was counting as though I have $10, but I have more than that. So 2 towns is $2. $4 for my activations puts me to 6. I can buy more than 2. Yeah, let's build up my army. Now, of course, I could have struck first and try to knock them off. I think that makes more sense, actually. Alright, I'm doing my attack. The hell with it. Because I think I've got the advantage right now. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is I am going to take... I have a major and 2 minors. Actions. Try to see where I am here. I want to build towns, but I also want to do my major movement. And I'm just going to move in on the Greeks and start hitting them. I'll come back after I figure some things out. Okay, so the first thing that I do, and yeah, this is a new playing for me, is I'm going to roll a die and move him. I get +4 to the die roll. That only gives me 5 movement points. And yes, I'm abandoning my city for now. That's okay, it has its own defensive value. That's 1 into friendly territory. 2-3 on this garrison. Uh-oh. What can be done with a garrison? I gotta look to see. I believe they can withdraw, but I'm not positive. Okay, so I've got this little chart. I got my movement on there. I did 1, 2, 3 to move in. He's allowed to withdraw. He gets to roll a die to withdraw. Now, there's no reason for a garrison to stay there. He's got 0 strength. The Romans do not have cavalry integrated. This is one of many little, tiny little bits of chrome in the game. Their legions have cavalry integrated starting on turn 3. Okay, they don't yet. And then it goes away again by this optional rule on turn 9. It's kind of an interesting thing. It prevents them from having real cavalry superiority there. I don't remember what the two terms are. One is superiority and one is dinky-doinkiness. I don't know. Specific terms. Superiority I'm using for the lesser one. They have that. They can get that with their legions, I think. Anyway, but they can't get the total superiority. But I think superiority may be the more dominant term. The other one is like something else that starts with an S. Okay, so the Greeks are going to pull out of there. They get to roll a die. With no penalties, 3 movement points, they're able to pull out. I'm going to pull them back here, mainly because I don't really want the garrison in a fight no matter what. So I'm just kind of covering more territories. If I lose territories, this helps me maintain control of the area or prevent other people from getting it. So now that's 2 movement points left for the Romans. They are going to march into this space. Now this is going to cause problems because I'm in a city here. I don't know how I want to defend. I got to look at the charge, zone out on them, and come back from my reasoning of whether I'm I'm pretty sure I'm going to defend, but whether I'm defending, inside the city or outside because I have cav advantages, or if this is just hopeless and I want to withdraw. Aha. So something was limited to only a level 1 difference involving cities and towns. It turns out, something was just limited. It turns out that that's whoever has the better leader in an attack on a city and town can only get 1 point. So that'll affect 1 more point from the Romans. I'm going to do this as a city or town battle. The Greeks fall back into there. Now, if the Romans don't attack, they have to pull out. So they have to attack. So let's take a look. We have 16 strength points of Romans to 5 strength points of Greeks. Town provides 3. What is that 5 for? The town provides 5, I think. Uh-oh. Yeah, it provides 5. Okay, so that's 7 to 16. That's 2 to 1. That means I have a +2 bonus there. And I've used up all my movement, haven't I? I don't even think I can attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me make sure I can even get in there. I don't think I can, because I don't have a movement point to get out. No, the extra point is to attack, not to get out. This is one problem with the rules. I think the Navy has the different side of rules where you have to have movement points to get out. I don't know. Anyway, very, very long set of rules. Completely new system for everything. It's going to be kind of painful to work our way through on camera. That's life. It's one of the reasons why I've been dragging my feet even though I really want to do this. Alright, let's pull this back out. So 2 to 1 gives me +2. The defender gets cow superiority versus supremacy. Well, I thought that didn't apply in towns. I wonder why that's not on the chart. Alright, back to the rulebook. Time to look this one up. Okay, the specific here is that cav cannot be used in any way in a battle taking place with it where a town or city has been declared. So we got to rethink the numbers. They're still going to be 2 to 1, I think, but 16 to 6 instead. Still 2 to 1. So I've got +2 for the Romans. And yep, it's going to be painful like this. Any completely new system, not built up on anything else. Point to point a little bit, but every point to point system is this random hodgepodge of new rules every time. Usually the weird rule is an exception, like whiff. I remember finding the kind of go-like movement, the way the zones of control worked in whiff. That really stuck in my head. That was the thing that whiff added or changed from sort of this book of knowledge of hex-based games, right? Almost everything else was the same in the core of the game. Well, in this, the core of the movement and combat, all completely new. So it's like relearning wargaming, all the principles with every single new game. When you start looking at this, the CDGs, all these new types of designs, they're not building off each other. They're not the same. There are of course exceptions. Things like Here I Stand and Virgin Queen. They're essentially the same system. Napoleon's Battles, Wellington, Kutuzov, all essentially the same. But for the most part, all these new designs have come up with the kind of Euro type idea of let's make something completely different, therefore making it really difficult to move from game to game. Alright, let's see. So no superiority there. Difference in tactical leaders, that's a +1 for the Romans. Well, we don't know if the defenders lost yet. Siege expertise. Alright. So now each player gets to bid some money on how much they're willing to invest in this siege. How big a deal is it? That's going to be tough. I got to stop and think and figure out what I want to do with that. Okay, now this is a hidden bid, and in this case both players secretly bid 1 talent. That means there's not going to be any modifier for this. And see, the Romans lose $1. I got to get 3 back for the Greeks. To give them that. That means nobody's going to get that modifier. It's just a 1-point modifier, so you probably don't want to spend a whole lot of money on it. But if the other guy didn't spending 1 seems worth it. Of course, spending 2 if he only spent 1. Yeah, it gets into this ugly little thing, but neither should be too unhappy. They both prevented the other from getting it. It's not a mountain fortress. It's not an amphibious attack. Nobody's got any event cards to play. So now what? Well, now we each roll a die. The Romans have 3 extra points to apply. I didn't really specify who's doing what with what. Let me look at how it's worded. The Romans rolled the red die, the Greeks rolled the blue die. What that means is that the Romans are causing 50% losses to the Greeks, and the Greeks are causing 60% losses to the Romans. Now, the Romans do not want to take losses if they can help it. But here they have to do some number crunching, because that's just the nature of this kind of battle system. Let's say they subtracted 3 from this die. That's what they have. They have a 3-point bonus. That would give them 30% losses. 30% of 16 is, well, I don't have a, there's probably a chart that gives it, knowing how this works. God damn it. I hate my calculators. They no longer work well. 30% of 16 is 5. Well, 4.8, but that's going to round. 5 points, essentially. Now, losing a legion will cost me 4. 1 more point is kind of painful, I think. I got to look somewhere in here. It tells me how much a legion costs. I got to look that up. It's either in the charts, well, it's in the charts and the rulebook, I think. Yeah, so legions take hits in 2-point loads. So 30% losses, well, what is 40% losses? And this is the pain in the ass of this kind of system. 16 times 0.4. That's 6.4. Let me check the rounding rules on this. I know the rounding rules on the odds, but are they the same as everywhere else? Unlike the OCS, this game doesn't make some kind of clear statement, all rounding is this way. So, I wouldn't be shocked if it isn't. No, indeed it wouldn't be. I know the combat, yeah, he has to take 6.4 losses. 6.4 means, again, he'd be another strength point up. Okay. Well, that's at 40% loss. What if he went up to 50% loss and cost 60% or 70% to the Greeks? Okay, 50% works perfectly for him. So he's going to take a full double legion, 8 strength points in losses here. Is this wise? I don't know. Partial losses seem to have some advantages in terms of rebuilding stuff, but don't worry about that right now. I'm not too upset about it. Okay, so that's 16 loss. That's 8 losses I've taken. I've taken 50%. That means my 6 has a -1 on it. I still have 2. I'm going to do 70% losses to the Greeks. I sure hope that is of 6 points. Let's check that. So I want to jump in and cheat a little bit. I want to withdraw this cav. It would automatically be able to because the Romans have no cav. So I will roll at least a 1 and be able to slide back here. I don't want them in the fight. Okay? That's all I'm saying there. I'm trying to figure this out though. 6 times 70 sounds like it's going to do too much damage. It is the troops. I hope. I don't know. Let's just pretend I do know. That's going to do 4 points of losses plus 0.2. The problem is a city, going over to the special rules on cities, over here at 7.3 something or another, a city's defense can never go below 3 wall points. Okay? Which means it would be taking this -2 thing. I can only take 3 hit points on here. Uh-oh. Maybe I should be taking less damage now with my attack unit. So let's go back and make that decision over again, because you do have to have all this information in hand and do all these calculations every time that you resolve a battle, right? To make sure you've got what you want. I don't want to do more damage than I physically can. So I want to do at least 3 points of damage to the Greeks. No more. So I'm getting 50% without any modifiers. That's 3 points of damage. Bang! So now I take the -3 to my die roll, which means I'm back at the 30%, and we had 16 times 0.3 is 5 points. 5 points means I take 4 on this legion, and I have a 4-point legion left, and I flip that over for 2 more points. And now I have taken my 5 points plus some. I kill the Greek light infantry. And this all just goes back into the force pool, and I put a -2 marker on the city. Hey! I've captured that city. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I captured the city, which means that decreases the civ points by 2, I think, for the Greeks. I don't know. By some number. It decreases their income. It decreases their number of cities. That much I know. I think it decreases their income by 3. I'll have to look these suckers all up. It decreases their civ points, I don't know, 2 or 3. Damn. Alright, I'll have to look that up. Hey, it's right here, bonus. 3 civ points. This stupid chart. 1, 2... Shit. I got no idea where those were. Okay. Now, the Romans don't gain anything for this because a reduced sense... Oh, yeah, they do. They get a talent and a civ point, but they don't get anything towards something else, I think. I don't know. So they get... I thought they just got nothing until they repaired it. They get a civ point and an extra income. I'm going to mark them down with a city controlled, I guess. I don't know what it means now. That's those counters, how you're supposed to handle them isn't really handled in the rules. They're just there for some sort of counting, help. Okay. So the Greeks lost their city. The Romans now have a city here. but they have a -2 marker. They also have the opportunity to try to sack the city. Now, strangely enough, the better your leader is, the less likely you can convince him to sack a city. But I want to sack a damn city. I'll be rolling a die. I have no mercenaries, so I get no bonus on that. And I have to roll higher than a 4, because his strategic rating of 4 means he's more willing to sack things. He is not, so I'm not going to get any bonus cash from this. It would have been kind of nice to get some extra cash there. Alright, that was my major move. I've used up all my movement points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I've got 2 minor moves to accomplish. Well, the easiest way to accomplish one of those minor moves is to remove this damage. I can spend a minor move. I don't have to spend any troops on this. And 2 talents will repair that. So now, I'm going to go to 4 here. 2 talents repair that, and that means I get 2 talents of income and 2 civilization points added to Rome. And if I can find my income, 1, 2, I'm up to an income of 10 now. Yay. I got another one though. I think building towns is kind of cool since I have these dudes anyway. So I'm going to build a town here. And let's see what that costs. Oh boy. Building and rebuilding. Costs 2 talents and a garrison and a minor maneuver to build a town. I have to control the space. And yeah, I'll do that. I'll build myself a town here. That's going to cost me two more talents. And now for that, I gain a talent of income and a civ point. And that's putting me into a range that's actually pretty nice. A talent of income. I also have an additional town, which somewhere, there's a mark. Yeah, you can imagine how good that would be all on this track. I have an additional town to place, which I'll put there. Is that the whole Roman turn? Geez, I hope so. Or activation? I hope so. Once you get used to this, it's not going to be as bad. You know, it's not that much. It's not alien in a terrible sort of way. It's not a huge game. It's fairly complex, but I would say something like Empires and Arms that I'm very comfortable with is probably almost as alien. Let me come back if there's anything more for the Romans to do. No, that's all there is. And I'll be putting my move token over to the Greeks, and they'll get their response to all of this. Now, they have the bonus of good old the Eagle of Epirus down here, who probably will launch an attack on Rome. Right now, there's no chance for negotiation, so they can't really tell the East, hey, let's cut a deal. But I think it is fairly clear that Greece is now tied up with Rome and has to deal with them, which may be an issue. All right. I guess this goes up.